The art critic Brian Sewell was on his way to Newcastle. He was reported to have said that the northeast was a cultural desert. I had to show him it wasn't.
It is very Eastern European, isn't it? Sort of outskirts of Zagreb.
He'd said we were too ignorant to appreciate Cobra, an exhibition of modern art at Gateshead's Baltic Centre. So the first stop had to be the Baltic. He was in trouble before we got into the building.
Have you changed your mind yet, Mr. Sewell?
No, I'm consolidating it.
It's not as bad as you think, you know.
It's worse.
Nice to see another cockney on the box.
I think he's a snob.
You reckon?
I think he's a freeman of Newcastle. Gave him the keys to the city after that.
You plan to meet a friend on the other side of town, but you'll need public transport to get there. Do you A, take the bus, cheap and reliable? B, head for the bus stop but look out for a taxi en route? That's always what I do. C, avoid sharing your transport at all costs and get a taxi from door to door.
I would go with you. I'm a B, probably. Head for the bus stop, but if there is a nice shiny taxi coming,
flag
grab
that
it.
one down straight away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's see what kind of transport our stars would opt for.
Look, I just avoid public transport because it's never on time. It's going to be C.
I've sat on the floor of many a train in the past few months going up and down to London on the crowded commuter lines. However, I also take taxis, so it's a bit of both. B.
Do you know, I still get a bit excited when I go upstairs on a bus and there's nobody sitting at the front. A.
Oh, what would Dame Kelly Holmes choose? She'd just leg it across
She'd get there quicker.
She'd get there quicker than a London bus, that's for sure.
Do you think she's snobbish? Do you think she'd just take a taxi?
I think we'll go for C.
C. So she would avoid sharing transport at all costs. OK, let's have a look.
I'd have to say on this occasion I'm probably quite snobbish, so I'd have to hail a taxi no matter what. So I'd go for C.
So that gets you a point. Last question in this round, and it's worth a point, and it's for you, Jenny. Here's a news clip from the year 2000. It's Elton John hosting the kind of jumble sale where you're unlikely to come home with change from a fiver.
Britain's most flamboyant star opened the country's most lavish charity shop this morning. His shop, out the closet, is Elton John's own boutique, which over the next 8 days is selling off his vast wardrobe for his AIDS Foundation.
Well, I'm not a minimalist by any means. I mean, God, I think that would be the farthest thing you could explain. But, I mean, there just is a point where you think, you know, I've just got to have a good old clear out.
Hundreds of designer ties, spangly suits, scores of perfect shoes, all touched by Elton and his celebrity lifestyle.
Someone offers you an attractive, expensive-looking coat, but it's second-hand and not necessarily Elton John. So, do you A, accept it gratefully, B, accept it thinking it might do for now as long as it's steam cleaned, C, decline it, you won't wear second-hand clothes? I was always so tall when I was a kid that my mum would buy trousers for me, or I'd get my hand-me-downs from my brothers, and they'd be too short, so she would stitch a piece of material along the bottom, which didn't match at all.
Bay City Rollers.
I totally was Bay City Rollers. The thing is, I didn't really mind, actually, because I was too young to care.
My mum used to do this thing where she used to try and palm off some of my sister's tops on me. I'd go into school and I wouldn't notice, and there'd be some kid in school just go, "Why have you got a skirt on?" Buttons are on the girls' side.
Why are you wearing boots?
And I'd get home and I'd say to my mum, "This is a girl's top, I can't wear this again." And my mum used to say these classic words, she'd go, "It's not a girl's top, it's unisex." That's great 70s word.
So what would the stars on screen do if they were offered a nice second-hand coat?
Wonder why they're giving it away in the first place. Definitely decline. C.
Well, I've done this. I've got the coat, actually, and I wouldn't have a problem at all. I don't mind if things are second-hand. In fact, it's a bargain. Brilliant. A.
Second-hand? Well, that means vintage in my book. Isn't that what we really want? It's A.
So, Jenny, it's king of the dribblers, John Barnes. What would he do?
Oh, he's a footballer, isn't he?
And he's a dresser as well, you know.
This is another league. I mean, he's just going to be dripping in designer label.
C. He just wouldn't do it.
No, he wouldn't.
Let's see if you're right.
I don't like second-hand clothes. For me, anyway, I get it from other people. So the answer would be C. Regardless of whether it's smelly or old or not.
There you are. We get points. So where are we? Simon and Jenny with 1, and Aled and Perry have got 1 too. It's a draw. can play along at home. Just keep track of your answers to today's questions, and then at the end of the show, I'll reveal how snobbish you are. Let's get straight on with round 2 and get reacquainted with the great British public. The nuns, the cabin crew, the estate agents, and the veterinary nurses. And there's a point on offer for each question, and to earn your points in this round, you'll have to predict how snobbish the British public are. Simon's team, you're up first. Have a look at this rain-soaked Glastonbury Festival in 2005. And in a change to the scheduled lineup, you could expect to see Earth, Wind and Fire, Wet, 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 and Mud.
The Glastonbury Festival. 5 hours of rain has turned a dusty farm into a quagmire. Footpaths turned into rivers, and streams have turned campsites into lakes. But this hasn't stopped the music, and despite the weather, most people are staying. David Sillito, BBC News.
I love Glastonbury.
Do you?
I've been at least 15 times.
I'd like to think that I'd go, but the fact is I never have, so I probably wouldn't.
It was so cool if you went. That would make the headlines.
What if I turned up the Glastonbury Festival?
Yeah.
Especially in your trousers with the special buttons on them.
I'm never going. Right, OK, a group of your friends decided it would be fun to go to a rock festival and they invite you to go too, so how do you react? A, that sounds like fun, I'd love to go. B, it might be fun for the day, but after that we'll tire of the place. Yeah, actually that would be me. C, I can't imagine anything more dreadful. So, OK, Simon's team, let's fire up a random selector. The nuns. Do they rock?
I keep thinking of Whoopi Goldberg. If you think of Whoopi...
OK.
Julie
Sister
Andrews?
Act.
Yeah.
Julie Andrews, not so much, but the whole... Let's
Rock
just
gospel.
go. And it's a day out, isn't it?
I actually agree with you.
Do you?
Yeah.
OK.
I think nuns are up for it.
OK.
Yeah? A.
Those immortal words, nuns are up for it. Let's see if he's right.
I'll go.
So there's 2 A's then?
For the fun of it. Yeah.
Go for the fun of it. OK.
I think we get out of it.
OK then. All right, is A is the answer?